I share a birthday with Nick Anderson.
Hey, we love Nick Anderson.
January 20th. What up, Aquariuses? All right.
Query eye.
Query eye, thank you. They got past the
Query eye for the straight guy. Hello and welcome back to Yay Basketball, the basketball game show. Monday, September 12th, 2022. Boy, oh boy. Recording live from the Yay studio. I am your host and producer, Michael Padilla. Along with me today, I have one, Bob Aldrit.
Feels like I've got a case of the Mondays today. Know what I'm saying?
Yeah. As well as one, Justin Moore.
How we doing, everybody? It's good to be here.
And Trey Dishner, our resident statistician and historian.
How's it going, guys?
Good. How are you?
Doing well.
Great. Excited to get into it with you guys. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. We do appreciate it. As always, be sure that you like, subscribe, rate 5 stars, share with friends, and follow us at Yay_basketball on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram.
Add me on the ground.
Last week, we played What Did He Say? Name That Dude, 5-second violation, and broke down our expectations for the Cavaliers after their massive Donovan Mitchell trade. It was a great time, so be sure to check out that one if you have not already. Now, this is the basketball game show after all, so before we dive into our first game of the day, Justin, can we get an update on the scoreboard, please?
Yeah, so we all took parlays. Some of us were actually trying to be fun. One of them wasn't. His name is Michael. He won.
I came up with the idea for the parlay, so I don't want to hear that.
And so he's in the first place with 8,400 points. I'm in second place with 1,180 points. Bob's in third place with 795, and Trey in last place with 680 points.
We got to get out of last. I think that's like 3 or 4 weeks.
I don't know about speaking for yourself right now.
I got to get out of last. It's
I think
been like
we're
3 or 4
all in
weeks.
last when Michael has over 8,000 points.
Yeah, I can play it pretty safe for the
Holy
rest of the month, that's for sure. Good.
Michael, you should have to bet all of your points every week until you don't have any more.
Agreed. Trey, you
What?
agree?
How is
Yeah.
that the rule?
Okay.
That's the rule.
How does that make any
That's the rule.
That's
Voted.
3-1. I'm
Decided.
sorry.
Decided.
You
It's a democracy.
you see what they're doing. I win 1 month and now they're scared. Okay, that's all right.
Mutiny.
Well, if you guys want to keep track of all of our game picks as well as chat with us, ask us questions, give us game ideas for the show, hit the link in the description of this episode to join our Chalkboard group chat. It is a fun and free way to support the show. We're having a whole lot of fun discussions in the off season about all-time rankings and who deserves to be a max player, stuff like that. So a lot of good conversations happening. Hit the link in the description and join our Chalkboard group chat. Okay, plugs are over. As always, we have a great one in store for you today. So let's just dive in with everybody's favorite game.
What did he say?
Talking about practice, not a game.
Anything's possible. Anything's possible.
That's right, it's What Did He Say? The rules for this game are very simple. I will play an audio clip of an NBA personality, player, coach, or analyst. It will be your job, Justin and Bob, to work as a team to guess who or what that person is talking about. Each correct guess is worth 100 points. In the event of an incorrect guess, Trey and myself will receive the 100 points. 4 clips today. Are we ready to get started?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
I've never been more ready.
I love it.
Thank you. I stretched.
Absolutely, I love it. This pains me to say, something I never thought I'd say, but who is Skip Bayless talking about in this clip?
He's a solo act of a stat machine, and all he cares is about his stats. He doesn't care about the W's and the L's. It's the way he was raised in this game. And his head is hard, and he's not going to change. You can't teach the older dog new tricks.
Right.
Who is Skip Bayless talking about in that clip?
Well,
He is always talking about LeBron.
yeah, but it's definitely not LeBron. No one's ever said that he doesn't care about W's. None of that. None of that. No one's ever said that.
Skip Bayless might.
No,
In
Skip
his
Bayless.
deluded,
he would.
Even Skip
crazy
Bayless
mind.
wouldn't say that. But he might be talking about newly traded Donovan Mitchell. Never really been about wins and losses. He doesn't really play on defense. He just wants to score the ball. But he said older dog.
Bingo.
New tricks. Older dog, LeBron James's teammate, Russell Westbrook, Can't really teach him new tricks. He doesn't want to play with Pat Beverly. That's kind of the big kind of storyline right now, right?
Well, and we see that, he doesn't want to play with Pat Beverly, but I called this. I think they're going to still stay on the same team together. Like,
Or
what?
Kyrie Irving. Talking about the Brooklyn Nets. They're not really going to win anything. But I'm still leaning towards Russ.
I am too. Let's go with your gut.
Let's go with Russ. Let's see if we do it.
Russ final?
Sure.
Final.
Let's see.
Russell Westbrook is the single worst three-point shooter in all of basketball.
Yes, he is talking about Russell Westbrook and how he might need to adjust to being the third option if he wants to stay in LA. We've talked about this a lot, so I don't think like there's much more to dive in. You did just kind of touch on it, Bob. Do you think that Russell and Patrick Beverly stay on the same team?
So we're seeing a lot of the Lakers camp saying, yes, we're going to keep them. They're working well together. You know, Patrick Beverly, of course, had that interview where he made that very snide comment.
Yeah.
Like, how does it feel to play with AD, you know, and in Russell Westbrook? And he's like, well, I'm the one that just, was in the playoffs. So obviously
They're playing with me.
they're playing with me.
Right.
Exactly.
I mean, that was Pat Bev doing Pat Bev things.
Right.
sure.
Exactly.
Yes.
Justin, do you think that they stay on the same team? They end up playing on the same team?
No, but I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if they do.
Okay.
Honestly, why? I mean, why? They don't do it. They didn't stop. Trade him.
Okay, Trey?
I don't think they do. I did think that they were going to make it till the trade deadline, but it just doesn't make sense in a basketball. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I think that they trade Russell Westbrook to the Utah Jazz to get those package of players.
The
whether it be,
Jazz. Again.
Jordan Clarkson. Or,
Interesting.
Bogdanovich and maybe Conley in there too.
Clarkson
No
would be,
one loves draft picks more
Right.
than
That's
Utah Jazz.
so that's the report that came out was that Danny Ainge is totally fine going back to LA if they're ready to give up both picks. But in return, Danny Ainge is both picks, but in return, Danny Ainge is only expecting to give up Bogdanovich and Conley. He doesn't want to give up Jordan Clarkson.
See, and that's the catalyst. Clarkson is the catalyst here.
Yeah, because he's the youngest of them. He's probably the best of them still, what he's got left in the tank.
Even with those players, I think you do it. Just I don't think Russ and Beverly are going to work out.
Yeah.
Like everyone says, Russ is a stat patter.
Yeah.
He's going to pad his stats. He wants to get his numbers. They need to trade him.
I think consistently, time and time again, and as someone who roots for LeBron James teams every chance I get, I can say that every opportunity the Lakers fans and Lakers fan base has had to come up with some half-brain theory of a trade that might develop, whether it was the Indiana thing, whether it was Kyrie, whether it was Kawhi back in, a few years back when it was going to be Kawhi, AD, and LeBron, whether it's, there's always a new thing, and more often than not, they don't come to fruition. So I don't think that we're going to get a Russell Westbrook trade. I think they're going to be stuck together, and I think it's going to be, if nothing else, very entertaining. So
We'll see.
good job for you guys. 100 points so far. On to question 2 now. Who is Kendrick Perkins talking about in this clip?
I'm having a mindset going into this season that my goal should be to make an all-defensive team because he has to show the rest of the world that he's willing to take a lesser role, that you can put him on the team that's going to contend for a title because he could be an asset and not a liability. If he buys in, they can be the best defensive backcourt in the NBA.
Who is Kendrick Perkins talking about in that clip?
What do you think, Bob?
Kendrick Perkins has been very high on a certain team called the LA Clippers. And when he's talking about being an asset on the team, I think he's talking about John Wall. Legitimately.
Okay, I could see that. That was not on my radar at all. What my thought is, Eastern Conference team, the Atlanta Hawks, talking about Trae Young needs to go in there with a defensive mindset to go along with DeJounte Murray, and then they could become a very lethal backcourt. Because he does say backcourt, and I don't think John Wall is going to start on the Clippers,
Sure.
especially not with Reggie Jackson. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for.
Oh, Reggie Jackson's a great defender.
Yeah, so I would lean more towards Trae Young.
What immediate point guards are, I'm assuming point guard here, we both went there immediately,
Yeah, because backcourt is what he's talking about.
that would go all the way defense after trading? I mean, is it wild to say Donovan Mitchell in this circumstance?
I hear you. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
Thanks for throwing a wrench into that one.
Oops.
You know, okay. I mean, I'm down to go. Yeah, Donovan Mitchell.
Do we want to hear it again?
Sure.
One more time, just for good measure.
You know how many
No.
I'm having a mindset going into this season that my goal should be to make an all-defensive team because he has to show the rest of the world that he's willing to take a lesser role, that you can put him on the team that's going to contend for a title because he could be an asset and not a liability. If he buys in, they can be the best defensive backcourt in the NBA.
That was a close one, but
Very close.
what do you think?
I'm not mad
Taking
about
a
Mitchell.
lesser role.
I just
but
don't
Mitchell
know if-
wouldn't take a lesser role, right?
He would to play defense. You're going to have to.
He might have to.
That's how that world would work. I still know Darius Garland, and maybe I'm wrong about this. I'm not saying he's not a really good defender. I'm saying he's not known as like this great defender comparatively to like a Dejounte Murray.
Sure.
But I'm okay with Mitchell. It has been the big story recently, so that makes more sense.
See, Justin, every time I go back and listen to these podcasts and one of us is like, go with your gut, or I'm like, oh, go with your gut, or gut. It always ends up wrong, honestly. Like,
Yeah. So let's go Donovan.
Donovan? Final answer, Donovan. Let's see.
You know how many all-defensive teams Russell Westbrook has made
knew you
in
were
his
doing
NBA
that.
career?
I knew it.
0.
I had a feeling you were going to try
No.
with double Russells.
Yes, he is. You were right. I double Russelled ya. Ooh.
no.
He's talking about Russell Westbrook and how he must improve on the defensive side of the ball if he wants to stay in LA. I want it to be known that on the production side of these, what did he say, documents, I have little notes off to the side for Trey to organize some stuff. And on the right-hand side, I said, they'll never expect the back-to-back Westbrook.
God.
And I was right.
Got him.
I 100% was thinking it. I just didn't say it.
Yeah.
And that really got me.
Now, we just talked about this a little bit, but let's just say that Russell Westbrook and Patrick Beverley do stay on the same team, and let's just say they become buddy-buddy, performance-wise alone. Do you think they can be, like Kendrick Perkins said, the best defensive backcourt in the NBA?
No.
Justin.
I'm gonna say yes, strictly from the point of tell me if they buy into defense, the better just backcourt defensively.
Jimmy Butler and Kyle Lowry.
Jimmy Butler's not a backcourt; he's a 3.
Marcus,
That's what- you know what I
Marcus
mean? Like,
Smart
that's-
and Jalen Brown.
Malcolm
That's a fair
Brogdon.
point.
Malcolm Brogdon.
Malcolm
or
Brogdon and Marcus Smart.
Exactly. But
Yeah,
That's crazy.
that's by a lot.
that's insane.
But
Okay.
then, I hear you.
All right. So another
So they-
100 points for us. Sorry, do you have something else to add?
I hear you.
I don't want to. I didn't mean to cut you off. Just trying to keep things chugging. Trey.
Defensive wise, I think it does work. I don't think. I mean, they both shoot terribly from the field, especially 3-point wise. So if they can put their pass behind them and they play defense, I think they can show up and make it work out. But again, I don't think it makes sense in a basketball
Yeah,
situation.
performance-wise, I agree. I don't think that they'll be the best just because we have a backcourt like a guy like Malcolm Brogdon and Marcus Smart now, a guy who just won Defensive Player of the Year and a guy who won Rookie of the Year nearly solely based on his defensive efforts his rookie season, which was granted a few years back now. But anyways, okay, 100 points to you. No, 100 points to us now. So we're dead even with 2 left. Question 3 here. Who is ESPN's Ramona Shelburne talking about in this clip?
57th overall pick in the draft. R.C. Buford had given one of the best quotes I remember to Zach Lowe a couple years ago. He said, I saw him play on the under-22 team, and he was just doing he was like a wild colt out there doing all kinds of crazy stuff. Some of it made sense and some of it didn't. That's why he took him.
Who is Ramona Shelburne talking about in that clip?
Russell Westbrook.
I know. That's what I was saying. I was going to say, expect a triple Russell.
Triple
Will he triple Russ? Yeah.
Not triple Russell, okay.
Triple double Russell Westbrook.
No,
Fair
I'm
enough.
going to be honest with you.
Fair enough.
We go through this every time we talk about any kind of draft positions. The draft doesn't.
Well, there's
intrigue me
another
at all.
huge piece of evidence in the clip.
Yes. Bob, what do you think?
I think I need to hear it one more time.
Okay, let's just do it immediately.
Let's just go for it.
57th overall pick in the draft. R.C. Buford had given one of the best quotes I remember to Zach Lowe a couple years ago. He said, I saw him play on the under-22 team, and he was just doing he was like a wild colt out there doing all kinds of crazy stuff. Some of it made sense and some of it didn't. That's why he took him.
It literally sounds like Russell Westbrook again. It's killing me.
I have no idea. I'm not even gonna lie about it. You know what I'm gonna say? You know what we're doing?
You know we're doing it.
He wasn't that pick of the draft. I don't care.
Was he not?
The 57th pick of the
Yeah, I
draft.
didn't think he was.
No. Russell Westbrook.
No, let's have a legitimate answer.
I have no idea. I have none.
Wild
No
Colt, Jimmy Butler comes to mind, but he wouldn't be 57th, would he?
idea. No.
Because I think under 22 teams.
I don't even know where RC Buford works
Oh my God!
right now.
And
Top
that
of
right
would have
there
been the
is
killer.
the pickle.
Talking to Zach Lowe, it's not. So Andrew Wiggins comes to mind. Like he was
Definitely not.
He was wild.
Is the first pick of the draft.
Oh yeah, fuck.
Number 1 overall.
Literally number one. Anthony Bennett called that one.
Yeah.
Ooh.
If we're not sure, I got to get a name out here.
All right. Let's Draymond Green.
No,
He never does anything that looks correct.
Okay,
not
do
the-
He
try
looks like
something
an
better
awkward
then.
running horse.
Russell Westbrook is a better answer than that. Actually,
Draymond Green was a
Zach LaVine.
definitely not.
I think Zach LaVine was a lottery pick.
All right.
Draymond Green was a second round pick.
DeMar DeRozan. What do you say?
Am I not wrong?
No, you're right.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
Second rounder.
Draymond Green, second rounder.
All right, Draymond Green.
Draymond Green, let's see.
He won 4 championships with the Spurs, was a 2-time All-Star, a 2-time All-NBA selection, and won
Monty.
Sixth Man of the Year in 2008. This weekend, he will be able to add Hall of Famer to the resume. What's the first thing that comes to mind when you think of Manu Ginobili?
It's Manu Ginobili, of course. She's talking about Manu Ginobili after his Hall of Fame induction into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame for the class of 2022. We've got a few segments to get here, so I don't want to spend too much time on Manu. But Bob, favorite memory, thoughts of Manu?
The Batman literally created literally created the Euro step. He changed the game when it comes to the top 2 like shooting guards. You know what I mean? Like I gave my top 2 for point guards the other day with Magic and Steph. Manu makes a very good case.
Wow. Golly,
For
that's
one of-
crazy.
For one of the ones that changed the game
Okay.
fundamentally.
Okay. All right. I'll give you that. Okay.
Oh yeah.
That's a crazy hot take, but go off, King. Justin, thoughts on Manu?
I mean, hooray! I don't know. Like, career's over. Once you're done to me.
Yeah, but favorite memory of Manu? Like, what do you remember from Manu?
He's dead to me.
Yeah, like
he's
done.
gone.
You know what I mean? I was never a Spurs guy.
Sure.
I mean, to me, I respect greatness, but they're boring. So like
The Spurs were,
yeah, like
I mean, unless
I hear you. Like he was amazing. He was the only person on the team that was allowed to create realistically.
Yeah.
But like
well, Tony Parker.
no, like I mean like be creative.
Oh, okay.
Sorry,
Gotcha.
yeah, like do
There you
weird
go.
shit.
Sure. Trey, remember what do you remember from Manu?
Definitely the Euro step. Also him, don't like to say this, but he beat USA and led Argentina to their first gold medal, their only gold medal.
Huge.
Yeah, huge. One of the best 6-man ever to play. Can't forget the bald spot on his head.
Yeah.
But other than
that
that,
nose that just does not quit.
Yeah, he's a great player.
Justin?
I want to formally ask that we rename the Euro step.
The Manu step?
No.
Oh yeah.
To the South American step.
Doesn't
Argentina.
doesn't really roll off the tongue.
You know?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. In
Yeah.
respect to Manu, but it doesn't really roll off the tongue the same
Manu
way.
step
I'm
sounds
cool.
nice.
I'm cool with the Manu
cool with
step.
that.
So my
The Argentine wiggle. You know what I mean?
the Argentine wiggle.
The boogie.
There you go. So during LeBron's Heat run, I watched nearly every single one of LeBron's Heat games live. They had 2 run-ins with the Spurs in the finals. So I did not like Manu for those 4 years. He was hard to like because he was so good. Manu's hard to dislike if your team isn't directly opposing his. My favorite moment is the Harden block. Trey, did you get up some details on that?
Yeah, it was. They were in overtime, and it was 7. Let me make sure I say this right. Sorry, guys.
So this is when he blocked James Harden in the playoffs.
Yes.
James Harden had the opportunity to win the game, right?
Yeah, there and so James Harden comes down, tries to shoot a 3-point jumper, and Manu comes up from out of nowhere and
Behind
blocks
him.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it seals the win.
Yeah.
And they end up.
I think that performance-wise, that was obviously probably not the biggest play of his career. I think that is probably the dunk on Chris Bosh in the 2014 finals. Holy moly. When it kind of looked like, golly, Manu can still get up like that? Crazy.
They noted that championship
Golly,
was
that's crazy.
the most meaningful one.
14?
Yeah.
Yeah.
was that one.
Yeah. The coming back and winning the championship after 13 and dominating the Heat in the way they did after losing in 13. Yeah, of course.
And I think he ended up retiring after that year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was his last year, so good call. Okay. So we are up now 200 to 100. Let's get our last question in here because we got a few more segments to get to. Number 4, who is speaking in this clip?
Those following days, from those final 2 minutes, like you said, just looking around in the court, seeing my teammates, seeing how their excitement and everything's just building up to that, final buzzer, goes off, and then it hits you. You're champion. You're celebrating for your team. You go to the back, you're popping champagne. And it's real. It's the best feeling ever. No one can take that from you.
Now, I apologize, of course, for the poor audio. I obviously didn't record it, but who is speaking in that clip?
Did you do that interview in an empty pool?
I don't know. A convention hall, it sounds like. Andrea Bocelli?
Shout out to the blind serenader.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's a nickname of his. Should be.
No, it is.
Should be. Bob,
So,
I would hard pressed to say this is one of your people.
I think it is too.
Yeah.
So a certain Canadian-born player may have made his rounds with the championship trophy recently, and it kind of gives me some Andrew Wiggins vibes. What do you think?
I'm okay with it. I was just like, I assumed it was a Warriors player, and I assumed you would knew the voice.
I would knew the voice.
You would knew the voice, and so
You knew it.
And so that's. I mean, I was leaning on you for this one. You know what I mean?
At first, it sounded like LeBron because I know they opened up the Nike Innovation wing, the LeBron James wing, as they call it. So I kind of went to that immediately, but then the more I heard it, didn't actually sound like LeBron.
Definitely. I'm just going to tell you, that's definitely not LeBron James.
Right.
He would have projected more, even in the pool too.
LeBron is like, yeah.
He would have paid for better mics immediately.
Everyone knows what it sounds like.
Yeah, I'm okay with Andy Wiggs.
I like Wiggy too.
Again, we're not adopting Andy Wiggs for the.
Why not? What's wrong with it?
What was the one you did last week? Jonathan Walson.
Walson. Yeah,
we're not doing this. You get Timothy Duncan. That's it.
But I mean, listen,
my man.
Listen, yeah. Anderson
Wiggleson?
Wigglies.
That one I'll give you. Anderson Wiggleson is dope.
Anderson Wiggleson is good. Andrew, think about it.
Wigglies, let's see.
At that point, did you take yourself back through all of the ups and downs, goods and bads of Andrew Wiggins being the #1 pick to Andrew Wiggins now about to be a champion? Yep.
That is correct. Of course, it's Andrew Wiggins talking about the missed chest bump.
Go!
It's Andrew Wiggins talking about what it felt like winning his first NBA championship this summer with the Warriors. Not a whole lot to discuss here with Andrew Wiggins, but I think he was probably, the third best player in the finals? Second best player in the finals? Third best player in the final behind who? Steph and Jaylen Brown, probably, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And he, I don't want to say locked up, but definitely held his own against a guy like Jason Tatum. So thoughts on Wiggins moving forward, Bob, with the Warriors?
I'm so excited. As long as we can keep Wiggins locked down, just the simple, like those three, like Clay, Steph, and Wiggy really worked well together. And he finally had his bust. Bless you. He finally had that season that I think a lot of people were waiting for with Wiggins, and he just needed those parts around him. Like he needed other superstars to essentially everyone realize, like, oh my God, like this guy has been as athletic and as talented as he has been his entire career.
Justin.
Sorry, I was allergic to bad takes. I think we saw a one-off from Andrew Wiggins. I don't think it's going to be sustainable going forward. And then we'll see. I don't see it happening. No.
That's the big question. Yeah.
Can he do it again?
What was that?
The question is, can he do it again?
Can he do it again? I hope so. I hope he can stay consistent because, like Bob said, we've been waiting for this. He's a freak of an athlete, and I think that he can do it again, but we'll have to see if he shows up to the plate.
Good. I think that Wiggins just needed to be in the right environment, the right system, the right scheme. we talk about culture every once in a while, and the Warriors are becoming that culture. We mentioned this a couple weeks ago. If you want to become the Spurs culture and have 25 years of dominance, guys have to sacrifice, and he was the first to sacrifice in terms of he was ready just to be whatever he needed to be for that team. And by the end of the season, by the end of that finals run, he became exactly what they needed. So, and I'm rooting for Wiggins. He's a hard guy to dislike. Just Canadian kid who came. I met Andrew Wiggins. I have a picture with Andrew Wiggins. Super nice guy.
His smile could probably solve world peace.
Yeah,
he's got the greatest smile.
Yeah, of course. So, all right, we got to get a move on here, gentlemen. That was, of course, what did he say? Okay, boys, good job. Well done. Proud of you. Okay, now, even though this is the offseason of the NBA, there have still been a few stories that we've missed here at Yay Basketball, and so very quickly, the speediest of speed takes are about to come through with some recent news, and that would be speed takes. Yeah. All right, Bob, Celtics new signing Danilo Gallinari tore his ACL and will miss the entire next season. Thoughts on the C's loss of the Rooster?
That's not a big deal. Honestly, that team had pieces in place that were essentially already Danilo Gallinari. And now with the addition of Malcolm Brogdon, they're going to be just fine. I don't see it being a long-term problem.
Justin?
I cockadoodle don't care about this at all. You can never play again. They're fine.
Trey?
I think they'll be fine, but it is a huge loss because he's a very consistent shooter from the field. From his whole career, he's been very consistent. So I think they'll be okay, but it is a loss.
The fear is that this is the same knee he tore his ACL in, I think the year was 2013, 14 maybe, or later, I believe. So he's going to probably It's going to be a tough recovery. As a guy, Trey, you've torn ligaments in your knee.
Dude, I don't know how they even get back on the court and get out there doing what they used to do.
Yeah, no way.
Yeah,
no, man.
So for Gallo's sake, I hope he comes back and he's all right. But for the Celtics' sake, because they didn't have him last year, it's not like they're adapting to a loss. They're just loss of an addition. So it ends up being null and void. So
for sure.
All right. After his felony drug charge was reduced to a misdemeanor, Montrezl Harrell signed with the Philadelphia 76ers. Bob, how much does this help Philly?
Oh, he would. Honestly, the 76ers, it will help them ultimately. They don't need necessarily size, but they need that dog and they need that defense. And I think Montrezl Harrell helps bring that to them.
Justin?
Yeah, I think if he stays on the court, helps him a lot.
Okay, Trey?
I think it adds depth to Philly. Behind Joel Embiid, they have Paul Reed, which is who's that? They need the size. They needed to bring him in. He's a good addition.
Yeah, I think that when the Lakers tried to make him their sixth man was when he, they would put him in lineups with LeBron. And they tried to get too much out of Montrez. His best seasons were with the Clippers, where he was a bench player, a role player. In Philly, he will be that, and I think he can maximize that backup center role. So I'm excited to see what him and the addition of PJ Tucker can do mentality-wise and grit-wise for Philly. Yeah. Back to Boston we go. Rumors are swirling that Carmelo Anthony might sign with the C's to help lessen the loss of Gallinari. Bob, is this the move for Melo?
I love that. I think now with actually Danny Ainge out of the picture, maybe Melo would want to move into that role. I don't know if there's any bad blood between them, but let's be honest, Danny Ainge,
Danny Ainge is in Utah.
Exactly.
Oh, right.
Now being in Utah, I think maybe that opens the door for some players who didn't exactly want to work with him. So
sure.
I like that.
Justin?
I guess at this point in time, I would just prefer it if Melo stops playing basketball. Okay. I think you're hurting.
Why?
Eventually you hurt your legacy by just jumping.
Yeah, of course.
Jumping. So for me, as a Melo person, the Melo I remember was the New York and the Denver Melo that was just scoring on everyone at will. And so now we're getting this other Melo that I don't like anymore.
Trey?
I think that's the guy that I thought about when they said that Danilo got hurt. I think it's a good addition. He averages 13 to Danilo's 11. He shoots 37.5% from the three to Danilo's 38.
Great stats.
So I feel like they complement each other well. I feel like it's kind of like a replacement. I feel like that's the best fit.
And the big thing is that the Celtics are going to use the exemption on Danilo, so it's pretty much free money. But they could still sign Melo for the vet minimum, so they could have more money to go out and get a guy at waiver time whenever the buyout market happens. So
This kind of feels like Shaq.
Maybe a Rondo.
yeah, but I feel like maybe. Maybe a guy like Rondo.
Bring back
Rondo back to Boston. I like that idea, Trey.
People would love that.
Yeah.
But
All right.
I mean, finish your career there. Exactly what Shaq did.
This is a juicy one, but we need to try to keep it quick here, boys. Okay, on Friday, Shams tweeted that the NBA and NBA Players Association are working to finalize the structure for a mid-season tournament in which cup games take place in November. 8 teams advance to a single elimination game in December, with the other 22 teams continuing with the regular season, and all games being part of the normal 82-game schedule, with 1 game extra for the final 2 teams. So those 2 teams would play 83 games. Bob, thoughts?
That's the big thing, is that only 2 teams will play an extra 1 to 2 games.
Just one. It will only be one game.
Exactly. I have criticized pro-ams and summer league games and stuff like that for all these professionals before. It leaves that opportunity up for more injuries. I love this tournament. Like, that's, I think, I didn't even think about that. So whoever did, obviously is getting paid more than me, and I love it.
Justin.
I hear it. We talked about it a little bit off. Like, I just don't really care about it that much. Unless you did the champion on Christmas Day and made that the big situation. What could be cool is the last 3 games are played that day. So you gotta play the two champions gotta play twice in a day. Like they play basketball, they're fine. This whole they're gonna get hurt, don't play that much basketball.
Yeah, but this ain't baseball.
They'll be fine.
And I think you would want to avoid that because you'd want to incentivize them to play hard, which they are coming up with ways to incentivize. I know that was kind of your hang up on it was, will they care? Well, they're working on a plan to make them care, and I think that the doubleheader idea, which isn't a terrible idea,
would make them care a little.
I just think it's unreal.
I don't want to do that.
Right. I think that would be a little unrealistic. Trey, thoughts on the midseason tournament?
I don't really know what to think about it. I don't really like the change up. I kind of like sticking with what I know. I like how it's been.
But let me say this. So what you know, typically in the months of November and December, or at least early December before Christmas happens, is, teams are kind of getting into a rhythm. You saw the Boston Celtics who went to the finals last year. What was their record by the end of November? It was like 3-11 or something like that. I don't know the numbers exactly. Then they went on this crazy run. I mean, teams kind of gelling, teams kind of finding their fit. It means, we just saw it 15 years from now, we're going to be saying, oh, this person has 5 Western Conference Finals MVPs. And 2 years ago, we would have been like, that's stupid. Who cares? And it'll be a thing to add to the resume. And 25 years from now, we might be saying, this person has 3 finals or 3 NBA championships, but they have 2 midseason tournament championships or something. And I know it won't ever be the same, but it's something to keep energized for that middle of the season, that grog, because Christmas Day hits. And then we care, and that's the exciting day, and then it's All-Star break, then it's free agency, then it's 20 games left of the season, and then it's who's seeding, and then it's playoffs, and then it's finals, and then it's free agency, and it just is an annual cycle of excitement instead of this drudging time that we always end up going through. So I'm a big fan of it. I hope they call it the Silver Cup because Adam Silver has been a big proponent of it. And also, it would accurately represent what it is. It is not a first place trophy. It is a silver medal. Good job. You got a regular season award for a regular season team. So
gotcha.
Okay. Now, this is where we're going to have to kind of be a little bit quick on. Now, this is a segment we've done once before. We did it, kind of tested it, and we're kind of still testing it today, so bear with us here. This is 7-man rotation.
7th place.
6th place.
Top 5, easy. The top 4.
Top 3.
Definitely top 2. First place.
Now, the last time we did this, we had Justin give us his 7 best players drafted in the last, was it 5 years? 7 years, yes, good. This time, Bob, what's your list?
So this is a list of the sometimes forgotten but still great teams, the top 7, in my opinion, in the NBA history.
Okay.
So I've got a couple 7 here. You guys ready?
Yeah, let's get it.
All right, so in no particular order, keep in mind, I know Justin's was
1 through 7,
1 through
sure.
7, but these are just the 7 teams that, damn. Let's not forget about these guys,
Yeah, okay.
These were the Cats. Okay, number 1, I'm going to give you the 91-92 Trailblazers. Okay. So they were 4th in points this year, 3rd in defensive rating, and the 2nd in the SRS, which is, of course, the simple rating system. So overall, the 2nd best team in the NBA. They beat the Lakers 3-1, and then the Suns 4-1, and then the Jazz 4-2. However, they lost to a certain Michael Jordan championship team.
Yeah.
This was his first one.
Downfall of a lot of teams.
Oh, yeah. So this was prime Clyde Drexler. Okay. He averaged 26.3 points. He had Terry Porter also on the team, who shot 51% from the field, and Jerome Kersey, who shot 16.2, who had 16.2 points in the playoffs. So a very solid squad.
That's prime Clyde.
Prime Clyde.
Yeah.
Had that Danny Ainge too.
Yeah.
Oh, bingo. Yeah. Thank you.
Next up, what you got?
So next, I have the 98-99 Rockets. Okay, now this is an aged Charles Barkley, who averaged 23 points per game, an aged Scottie Pippen, who averaged 18 a game, and Hakeem, who still averaged 13 points a game.
Was Clyde on that team?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Clyde was not on that.
Okay.
I don't think so. And WSU, Wichita State alum, Antoine Carr. This was his 14th season. Okay, that's how long he was in the NBA. It's pretty awesome. However, they lost to a very good Shaq and Kobe team in the first round.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, people forget them a lot. Next, this one's very controversial to the Utah Jazz fans because this is the 97-98 Utah Jazz. They were first in offensive rating, and they went 62-20, which is 9 more wins than the 22 championship Warriors. So we have John Stockton, a personal favorite of mine, Jeff Hornacek, the guy that we don't mention again, and also Antoine Carr. All right, Brian Russell
I'm finding a trend here.
That's right. And 2 Kansas Jayhawks in Greg Ostertag and Jacques Vaughn.
Wow.
Yeah, 2 players I don't think we've ever mentioned before.
Was that the finals that Jordan, the famous when he played?
Oh, you like that? Ooh. So this was back-to-back finals appearances for this Jazz team, and what makes it controversial is that they lost to the Bulls in 6 both times, this year and the year before.
Gotcha.
Now the whole thing is like, okay, which team was better? That 97-98 Jazz or that 96-97 Jazz? However, both teams always came up short and always lost in 6 games to Jordan. So,
which a lot of teams would have done too. So.
Exactly. Next, number 4, I have the 03-04 Pistons. Now, I should preface this. This is the only championship team I have on this list, but we cannot forget about these guys. So, after being swept in the first round of the playoffs the prior year from the Nets, so the year 02-03 season, Detroit moved on from Rick Carlisle, legend, and hired college head coach Larry Brown, Rock Chalk. Now, they only lost 7 games after the All-Star break. Jeez. Insane. So this team featured, and I'll go through the numbers afterwards, Rip Hamilton, Chauncey Billups, Rasheed Wallace, Tayshaun Prince, Ben Wallace, and a special mention, Darko Milicic.
Wow.
I mean, we're talking
number 2 pick.
Yeah.
Oh,
he was a rookie on that team, right?
Oh, yeah. Insane. And so they went 17 points per game.
1 point.
So 217 points per game. Ben Wallace 14, Tayshaun 10, Ben Wallace 9. Like, this team was stacked. And honestly, we can't forget about that team. They're awesome. Okay, so number 5, I have the 2002-2003 New Jersey Nets. Now, they swept the Pistons in the first round, and that's what made that team, Detroit, make the changes they needed to make and then eventually won the championship. However, this Nets team lost to the Spurs in the finals to now Hall of Famer Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker, and Tim Duncan, and a 37-year-old Steve Kerr. Jason Kidd averaged 18 a game. Kenyon Martin averaged 16 a game. Richard Jefferson 15 a game, and also Richard Jefferson shot over 50% for the whole season. This also featured Dikembe Mutombo and a certain white mamba, Brian Scalabrine.
That team was nice. I remember
Very,
that.
very nice team. And then the next one, number 6, I have the 2000-2001 Sacramento Kings. Ooh. This is a 55-win team that averaged almost 102 points a night.
Golly.
What the heck?
I heard they got cheated.
That's crazy.
No, definitely not. And they were the best offense in the league that season, and the SRS put them, again, second overall that year. You had a prime Chris Webber averaging 27 points per game, 11 rebounds a game, and Peja Stojakovic averaged 20 points a game while shooting over 40% beyond the arc.
Wow.
Doug Christie, who'll come back into this later, trust me. Doug Christie averaged 12
teaser.
points a game, and a certain Jason Williams, a.k.a. White Chocolate. So the team also featured Hito Turkoglu, Vlade Divac, and Nick Anderson.
Ooh.
I share a birthday with Nick Anderson.
Hey, we love Nick Anderson.
January 20th. What up, Aquariuses? All right.
Query Eye.
Query Eye, thank you. They got past the
Query Eye for the straight guy.
They got past the first round 4 games against the Suns, but ran into an absolutely stacked Lakers team who swept the Kings and actually only lost 1 game in the playoffs on the way to their championship. They swept everybody.
Yeah.
They only dropped 1 game to Philly in the finals. Wild. Okay, final.
Last team.
This is at number 7, the 1999-2000 Toronto Raptors. Okay, now second-year player and all-star Vince Carter averaged 26 points a game, 6 rebounds, and 2 blocks a game, and also won the dunk contest that year. His cousin, Tracy McGrady, for all you who don't know out there, some people don't, Tracy McGrady contributed 15 points a game, 6 rebounds, and again, 2 blocks. The team was swept, however, in the first round by the Knicks, and eventually T-Mac was traded to the Magic and shipped that Doug Christie that I mentioned earlier to the Kings.
That's a callback.
You like that?
Yeah.
All right, so this team also featured, and I don't think a lot of people know this, Muggsy Bogues, Del Curry, and Charles Oakley. Right? Now, here's where it gets spicy. Butch Carter was the head coach until he was fired in June of 2000. And was involved in public feuds with both Vince and Tracy. Essentially, he was limiting their minutes, so of course people were like, "Oh, what are you doing?
Get him out of here."
So the center of the New York Knicks, Marcus Camby, called Butch Carter once he played under him a liar, and Carter filed a $5 million defamation lawsuit.
Marcus Camby's your favorite player of all time, remember?
Yes.
Nice.
Can be.
Anyway, he can be. So NBA Deputy Commissioner Rush Granick believed it was a frivolous lawsuit, criticized Butch, and it made Butch back down and drop the suit. And also, I'm just going off on Butch Carter, by the way. This guy was not a good dude. Okay, so he tried to get longtime friend and general manager at the time, Glenn Grunwald. So a head coach trying to get a GM fired.
Sounds like a Marvel villain.
And
We in Minnesota now.
And ultimately was the reason why T-Mac decided to leave the team and sign with the Magic.
Did he only last a year? I would hope so.
I think so. Yeah, 2 years.
I was going to say.
Yeah, 1 or 2
years. Yeah, I'd say he has a
I think only
45
1
and
year.
37 record, so I would guess that he only lasted a year.
So
he's a winning
in the whole
coach.
NBA.
So that's my top 7.
He can go out.
Forgotten, but not really, teams of the NBA.
Bob,
Thanks for that,
I gotta say,
I'm a little lost, but fair enough.
if you had to pick one team that was like your favorite of these, just your personal favorite, not best, but your personal favorite.
It better be the Raptors, bro.
Oh,
after as much time as you spent
Butch
on them.
Carter. People don't know that. That's why T-Mac left.
Yeah.
Anyway, that Kings team.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
Okay.
2000, 2001. Yeah.
Okay,
Good
good.
list.
Well, that was a good list. I like that. I'd like to see a few more teams. Like I think like 13 Pacers were going to be in there.
Oh, that's my honorable mention.
Oh,
Thank
good.
you. Yes. Thank you. Seriously, that is my honorable mention. Is the 2012-2013 Indiana Pacers that always ran into that Heat team.
Yeah.
With LeBron. I love these guys, okay? I mean, it's Danny Granger, Paul George, Grant Hill, David West, and Roy Hibbert.
They had 3 All-Stars. Yeah, you just said. I mean, Roy Hibbert at his
Insane.
peak, like
Insane team.
It's not like he had some crazy, long run, but that was a guy right there.
Thank you for calling on my honorable mention. Seriously, that's what I love that team.
Good, yeah. Alrighty, well, that was 7 man rotation. I always forget the name of that. We're going to work that out a little bit, so don't you run away. Okay, now we really got to get going here. So our last game of the day, of course, as always, is Rapid Fire Trivia. Nope, it's going to be this one here. A very straightforward game here. You will have 60 seconds to correctly answer as many random NBA trivia questions as you can in a rapid-fire fashion. Obviously, that's the name of the game. You will each get one attempt. Bob and Justin, each correct answer is worth 25 points. Think of a number between 1 and 1 trillion.
Go.
15 billion.
16 billion.
It was 8, so...
Woo! Damn.
Justin wins. Would you like to go first?
Yeah.
All right, 60-ish seconds on the clock. Begin. How many championships did Shane Battier win?
3.
2. How many seasons did Derek Fisher lead the league in assists?
2.
0. What team does Josh Richardson play for now?
The Timberwolves.
The Spurs. How tall is Josh Richardson?
6'8".
6'6". How many teams has Josh Richardson played for?
14.
14. 5. How many kids does Kawhi Leonard have?
2.
1. How tall is Alperen Şengün?
6'6".
6'10". How old is PJ Tucker?
37.
Nice.
Attaboy.
Who is the GM of the Indiana Pacers?
You know. That's it.
Nice. Nope, it is Chad Buchanan. What year was Tomas Satoransky drafted?
94.
Oh my god, that's the year I was born. It's in 2012. How many titles have the Houston Rockets won?
2.
You got it. How many did you get there? 2?
50 big ones.
50 big points. Bob, are you ready?
Very nice. Yep.
60-ish seconds on the clock. Begin. How tall is Lonzo Ball?
Lonzo Ball is 6'4".
6'6". What is LaMelo Ball's middle name?
Balls.
It's La France.
No way.
It is. What is the name of the Washington Wizards' home arena?
Ball Stadium.
It's Capital One Arena. Who is the all-time leader in blocks?
Oh, Dwight Howard.
Hakeem. What is the name of the Bucks mascot?
Bucky.
Bango.
Close.
How many times has LeBron been ejected?
Once.
Twice.
Oh.
What's the name of the player that wanted to fight LeBron after a foul last season?
Lance Stevenson.
Oh, it's Isaiah Stewart. Who is the head coach of the Portland Trailblazers?
Not Rick Smits.
You're right.
Rick Smits.
No, it was not Rick Smits.
Damn.
It's Chauncey Billups. And last but not least, who is your favorite player of all time?
Yao Ming.
No, it's Costa Koufos.
Costa Koufos?
Yeah, of course.
How'd I forget?
How'd you forget that he's your favorite player of all time?
He really is.
He is. All right, everybody. Well, now, what were the final score on there? How many did he get?
0.
Oh,
hell yeah.
absolutely 0.
50 points to 0 points. Great job. Now that we've got all these points, you're probably wondering what we're going to do with all of them. And to you, I say we gamble them away, and props to you.
Another exciting props to you. As we kind of did at the beginning of the episode, we know Michael's way far ahead of everybody else.
Way far.
But we've got some bets going on today. So Michael decided to take Slovenia. And you're putting all your points on that?
No, I'm gonna do. I'll do
Vicky has to.
I'll do 1,000.
1,000. 1,000.
Yeah, that's what happens when you are that much of a lead.
3,000.
No,
You gotta give us a chance to come back.
I'll give the 3 of you 1,000 points, and I'll still bet 1,000.
Okay.
I don't want the 1,000 points. I want you to bet
Take it.
3,000 points.
No.
Shut up,
Then
Justin.
then
take
I'll
it.
bet. Then I'll bet 2.
Okay.
If you're not gonna take my free points, I'll take 2. I'll do
I don't want
2,000.
free points. I don't want them. I don't want them.
Trey is like, I want the points.
He's like, I need
Hey,
those.
Bob, you also have chosen Slovenia, but you've also chosen Greece, and you
Correct.
have 995 big points. What are you doing?
I'm going to go with 995.
Close one.
How about you're trying to keep a point
Gotcha.
there? Trey,
1 point.
You do have 880 points, and you have taken just Germany.
Oh yeah, yeah.
What do you want to do?
I'm gonna bet them all.
Bet them all.
Franz
That's the kind of
Wagner's
thing I
gonna-
like here.
Yeah.
That's what we like over here.
Kind of have to at this point.
Yeah, I gotta catch up.
And what are you doing, Justin?
1 second. I made a mistake.
It's okay. It happens.
There, it's all better now.
Good.
It's all better now. I am taking Spain and Slovenia, and I've got 1,430 points, and I'm going to bet them all, and I'm coming for you.
Okay.
Michael.
I don't
Did
believe
you hear that?
I don't think that's going to be accurate, but
He's coming for you.
if you watching or listening at home want to keep track of all of our game picks as well as chat with us, ask us questions, or give us game ideas, hit the link in the description of this episode to join our Chalkboard group chat. It is a fun and free way to support the show, so we really hope that you do that. As always, everybody, thank you so much for listening. We do appreciate it. Be sure to like, subscribe, rate 5 stars, and follow us at @Yay_basketball on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram.
Add me on the ground.
Just a reminder, we are recording live from the Yay Studio.
Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
My boy Bob, what you got?
I have one simple thing to say to the people today.
No, it's almost
And
fall
I-
time. What
and
are you
I
going to
think
say?
you know what I'm going to say. Just smile, everybody.
Just smile.
Just smile.
Look at that stroke.
Look at that stroke. Justin.
Earlier in the show, we maybe unknowingly, we didn't understand what we were doing. We slandered one Paul Reed for the 76ers. And I'll have you know that Paul Reed isn't a nobody. He played in Florida, okay? He's born there.
Nice.
He played for DePaul. He's going to have a monster season.
DePaul Reed.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah.
Great.
That's sure Paul Reed.
Third string center for the Sixers. Going to have a monster season, Justin says. Can't wait to see it. Trey.
He started 2 games last season.
He did start 2. Trey?
Thanks for listening. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And yay basketball.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Everybody, thank you so much for listening. We do appreciate it. We've got a lot of good stuff coming to you, as always. Rest in peace to Carol Moore. Love you very much. Everyone, take care. We'll see you next week. And we'll see you all the way throughout. Don't forget, yay basketball.